All right. Whoop.
It's a little grilling shot.
Yep. A little bit different today.
A little different. Hey, a little different every time. People don't know what they're going to get.
Nope.
Neither do we.
Well, Sunday morning breakfast. What's needs to get done needs to get done. No matter what we have planned.
Get her done.
Oh, let me go grab the clips and the punch.
Okay.
Mute my mic so you don't hear my wild family. All right. So we're gonna cook Sunday morning breakfast on the Blackstone today while we talk about whatever comes to mind.
And smoke some stogies.
Yep, always.
You don't get one, puppy.
Nope. No cigars for the puppy. Maybe then we'll get more followers for animal abuse.
Okay. Negative followers.
Yeah. Well, we know we're not popular yet. Oh, I got a punch on the bottom of that one. You know you're not popular yet because we don't have any haters.
No, we've arrived when we have some haters.
Mm-hmm. Isn't that how it works?
I think so.
We need to let some of the moisture out of my mason jar humidor. Oh man, oh man. So it's been a month?
Something like that. At least. It's been about that long. Been busy times, but we've gotten through Thanksgiving and Christmas.
Yep.
And New Year's and work and trips and blah, blah, blah.
Now, still got some snow sitting around.
Yep. At least it's nice and still this morning. It'd be cold if it was windy.
Got my cat sitting over there. As she walks around like the little creeper that she is. Say hi, kitty kitty. Nope. Just gonna be
Not
a cat and ignore me.
And cooking up some breakfast.
Yep, just as soon as they bring it out.
Well, that's kind of nice, actually.
Yeah, a little bit of heat.
To warm the fingers. Now we figured it out.
Yeah.
We don't need a fire pit.
We just got to cook every time that we're filming.
Hey, it's worse things to do.
Mm-hmm. Oh man, so it's been amazing listening through the Old Testament. How much? How do I put that? How much the New Testament quotes the Old Testament. Obviously, I'm sure people that studied it out know this, but also just things I've heard my entire life and going to church and in the church and preachers and pastors and people talking about stuff, where it comes from.
Oh, yeah.
I knew it was in the Bible. Well, I thought it was in the Bible because they said it was. but I never
Sure.
knew where. And then listening through, I'm like, oh, I'd have never guessed it was in here, wherever that may be in this,
Yeah.
each instance. And then also figuring out, because you hear it, and I'm like, oh, that's in the New Testament. They're quoting the Old Testament. Interesting. Of course, it's usually
Yeah.
Paul, because he's the one that always, like, very repeatedly, references the Old Testament.
Right.
Or I guess in his time, the Testament. Because
Yeah.
it wasn't
Scriptures.
yeah.
Yep. And I want to find, too, the different canons. I saw the other day, and I haven't verified it yet. That's, we put a lot of stuff out on here that we haven't verified. But
Yeah, that's what we do. I don't want to do we don't want to do all the work for
Yeah,
our listeners. Get in there.
Yeah, search it out yourself.
Read it out.
But that there were 13 canons.
Huh.
13 different canons of Scripture. Well, that's interesting. And I guess it was Council of Nicaea, where we got our primary one that we're using.
When they all got together and said, this is the Bible.
Yeah, for that council. I guess there were 12 other councils. Of course, Council of Nicaea, they were trying to figure out if women had souls. So they can't fully be trusted. So there's that.
So I was listening through, and this is while I'm working, listening through the Song of Solomon or Songs of Solomon.
Yeah.
And I have come to the fervent and thorough conclusion that is in there because those dudes were just horny old men. Because there is no...
That's the only reason, purpose.
Listen through it, people. Read through it, listen through it. It's better if you listen through it because they have like females reading the female parts and they're talking about Solomon.
Yeah.
And then Solomon talking. I mean, the dude just talks about boobies over and over. And I'm just
This
sitting there
podcast is not for kids.
No, I mean, just don't let your kids read the Songs of Solomon.
Yeah, true. Right.
I was listening through it, and I'm literally working, and I just kept stopping. I'm like, what is the point of this? It's like, it's literally a bunch of old horny dudes sitting there being like, well, we can't forget this. We got to put that in there.
Yeah, that's right.
I mean, all our priests that aren't allowed to do anything with women, they need something, guys. And they're like, oh, you got a point there,
gosh.
Jim.
Yeah. This is a good way to start the podcast today. Yeah.
Hey,
get everybody in the right frame of mind.
I'm just saying, don't let your kids read the Old Testament. That's all I'm saying. Because I can't find anything. There's no wisdom in it other than this dude really and that's the other thing I'm thinking. I'm like, you got 700 wives, 300 concubines. Which one are you talking about?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And then who are you to tell me, love your wife? It's like, which one, bro?
Yeah. Yeah. Consider the source.
Do you even know her name? Or do you got to ask her maidservant? And like the two of them come in.
Which one is this?
Like, who's oh, hi. Yeah. That's right. Number's 537.
Yeah. Yeah. Tell me you didn't number them, please. It's ridiculous.
And then it's like, sir, that's not your wife. That's one of your concubines. It's like, oh, dang.
Yeah. And
my bad.
Like, what's the difference? You're housing all of them. You're
probably
taking care of them.
How good of a house you have and where her sons rank in the order of things.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it's just funny. Like, there's no edification here at all.
I'm getting nothing.
Yeah. And if anybody's listening to this and you get something out of it, you just let me know.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Oh, man.
It's funny. There's a lot of... Bible's pretty R-rated anyway.
Oh, yeah.
There's a lot of serious subjects, a lot of horror.
A lot of slaughter.
A lot of slaughter.
And then the angel of the Lord came down and slaughtered 183,000 of their army.
Yeah.
And they woke up and rose the next day and saw all the bodies stacked.
And the blood flowed knee deep.
Yeah. It's like, no. Well.
To the horse's bridle
Yeah.
or whatever. Jeez, man.
It's like, oh, man, that's That's pretty deep, dude. Even if it was a little horse.
And we think we understand some of this, and it's like, do we?
Yeah.
Because everything that Jesus preached and how he walked through the streets, what he did daily, doesn't look like a lot of that.
Yeah, and you know what? It's funny because listening through it and so quickly, because it's just been over the last month, listening to it, at least an hour a day while I'm driving to and from work, and then any other time I have the chance while I'm driving or at work, there's these moments of people where you see God's love and you see the Father.
Yeah.
And even in the slaughter of the 183,000, which was, I forget what king it was when I think the king of Syria was coming against Judah with Israel, I believe. So, not Israel, with, Israel, the other 11 houses. And the king of Syria were coming against Judah. And even in that, though, it's still the Father's love for those who still seek him to come in and slaughter their enemies. You didn't have any love for the enemies.
Right, which is exact opposite of what Jesus taught. So making that, reconciling that, I guess, is what, it can't just be washed over simply.
No, but I think it has everything to do with, in that time, God was trying to show people how fallen they were, because the Jews were always so arrogant in what they believed they were capable of, in the sense of at every single moment they turned away from God over and over and over. And it's like you go through Kings and Chronicles, and it's like, and then there was, the king, and this guy, and he lasted 3 years, and he did evil on the side of the Lord. And then there was this king, and he followed the ways of his fathers, and he did evil on the side of the Lord. And he was, and there was plagues and turmoil, and it's just like they kept choosing horrible everythings.
Right.
And of course, it took me all of Kings and all of Chronicles of me judging them the whole, you idiots. And then I'm sitting there thinking about my daily life, and I'm like, oh, you're an idiot too. Of all the stupid, things I say or do or whatever on a daily basis of how I fail. And I'm like, and how quickly can I judge the Jews reading how stupid they were? Thankfully, the Holy Spirit's like, hey, tapping on the shoulder, you're an idiot too. It's like, you suck also.
We all have moments of idiocy.
So it was just fun to get that little revelation, but all of that to say, I think
it took 60 chapters.
Yeah. $4 and hundreds of verses. All of that to say, I think it's so that we can look at the Old Testament and look and see what not we personally, but we people chose, because God didn't want them to have a king. And they're like, well, look at all the pagans. They have kings. We want one. He's like, but I'm your king. And they're like, nah, man, we want like an actual king.
Yeah.
And he's like, well, I'm the king of the universe. He's like, no, but we want like a human.
Yeah.
And he's like, okay, here we go. And it's just their perpetual poor choices.
Yeah. And
even in that, he's still, I think the whole point of it is to show us how much it can suck for everyone.
Right.
The people that come against you, they get slaughtered, and that's not his heart. And the people that are chosen, as they choose poorly, they lose out in their own ways. And then finally, and then you get one guy, and it's like, oh, and he is righteous in the sight of the Lord, and he blessed him. And
finally,
there was
Josiah.
And that's the other thing too, is when there's the righteous people, there's usually only one slaughter in their rule. The rest of the time, it's like, okay, I got to slaughter. Remind everyone I am the God of Israel, and all their enemies that I exist. Remind them I exist. Slaughter once, and that one slaughter then brings peace for 20, 30, 40, 50 years.
Yeah, yeah.
So instead of a perpetual warring of letting letting his people continue to war and do good, in the sense of they were warriors, so they're just going to win over and over and over, he just does one big slaughter. It's like, okay, well, I slaughtered 183,000, but we saved 7 million over a 50-year rule of people constantly coming against them. One big show of force stops anybody for at least this guy's reign, where we have peace in the kingdom
for a time.
So it's, I don't know. Obviously none of us got it, but
yeah, it's hard to.
But and I think it's funny too, because there's only a handful of people in the Old Testament who seem to know God, really. Because a lot of the prophets, they're just scared of him, and then you have a handful of people like David, people like.
Sun's
is that coming out, buddy? Is that going to get cooked up?
Good.
Does Mommy want me to do that right now, or am I going to do the pancakes first?
She didn't say.
Okay. Yep. Okay.
Hello.
And that's my oldest son.
And now the sun's coming
We're
out.
actually on TV.
Well, technically you're on camera right now. Here, buddy, I'm going to do this just to get it going. You wanted to do what, your eggs? Okay. But yeah, it seems like there's only a handful of people throughout the Old Testament that even end up talking about God's goodness. And really seeming to know who he is in that aspect of, he's good, he's great, he's gracious, he's loving, he's kind. Mm-hmm. Yes, it's recording right now, bud.
Right.
And so it's just like, I just found that interesting. They crop up here and there, and even Job, tries.
Right. And kind of gets it in the end.
Yeah, and I mean, he has it the whole time. He's a little off here and there, but he pretty much has it the whole time.
Right.
But then kind of starts to get influenced by his stupid friends. Mm-hmm. And God has to send in the kid to speak truth.
Right.
The young man that hasn't been tainted by the years of hardship or however or whatever it ended up being.
Right. Some purity.
See some good background noise in this one.
Yeah, there you go.
That's looking good already.
Yeah, buddy.
Heck yeah.
Yeah, just these weird little nuggets going through the Old Testament of different things. I just find it interesting how through the entire span of time, no one seems to actually know God.
Right.
Except for a handful of people.
Yeah.
Yep. Yep, buddy.
It's pretty interesting.
Yeah, it is. So it's... You got pancake batter?
It's already ready.
This side. I'll turn that down. Go ahead.
Well, Mommy, can I cook my
Oh, yeah.
No, buddy, I'll do those. No? I'll let you do your eggs once we're done with everything else.
Okay.
Heck yeah. I'm going to sell some Blackstone.
Yeah, see if we can get a sponsorship.
Uh-huh.
You don't have to agree with what we say. We don't remember half the stuff we say anyways.
Jesus enjoyed a good barbecue.
Yeah, God, the Father did enjoy. It was a sweet aroma. That was some good barbecues that he did. I don't care what anyone says.
You try that animal session.
Why would you want water?
Because, buddy, if you have to steam something,
We look for his oil.
well, you don't use oil to steam. You use water to steam things. We just don't usually. I usually just use that on like veggies and stuff. But
Sorry, I'm having a hard
But oh, and that was the other thing I always found interesting too. So like when Israel fled from Egypt, they had all their livestock and then some.
Yeah.
But they didn't eat any of it. And they did sacrifices and different things.
Right, it's all for sacrifice.
Well, and I was just trying to wrap my head around, if you have, when they have, okay, buddy, you need to stop interrupting. It's a lighter. It's okay. If you have what'd they have? Like a couple million, I think, like 2.5 million or something people.
Right.
In the Exodus.
Something like that.
I guess you can't really slaughter your 60,000 goats or what was it? It was like 60 or 70,000 sheep and 20,000 cattle and whatever.
Right.
Okay, so you do that once, maybe 3 times, and you're out of everything.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that was I was
it
like,
needs
well,
to
maybe,
be multiplying.
yeah, and even then, it's not going to multiply quick enough to sustain you. So I'm like, maybe that's why they didn't bother eating any of the cattle, because you're only going to get 1 or 2 meals out of it before you're out, and then you have nothing for you have nothing to bring into the promised land.
But then but then you had all this sacrifice that was like constant.
Yeah.
Which is odd.
Yeah.
I mean, that whole thing anyway of, again, unverified by me, but heard some pretty good arguments on that it was something that, sacrifice was something the people brought in.
Yeah.
That it wasn't something that God required.
Mandated. Yeah.
And I mean, there you go, religion again, screwing things up, and religion making things more complicated than they need to be.
Yeah.
I mean, religion is that's the curse.
Well, and that's like we talked about, I think, the difference of eating from the tree of knowledge of good and evil and the tree of life.
Yeah.
Choose life, not knowledge.
Right.
I mean, look at our universities today where the knowledge is.
Yeah.
And you have people arguing for the fact that they're not a woman. I'm not a woman, but I have a womb. Well, I'm non-binary. Okay, by creating a non-binary system, making someone binary and non-binary, you have created a binary system.
Right.
What's a
I'll let your dad explain that.
Yeah. Hey, bud, why don't you go inside for now until you're ready to cook, until we're able to let you cook your eggs, okay?
See you later, everybody.
Yeah, and knowledge of good and evil gives you judgment.
Yeah.
This is good, this is bad, and there we have most of our problems.
Yeah.
In the world. Instead of everyone just eating from the tree of life.
Yeah, exactly.
Eating from the tree of life, you're, I don't know how you explain that, but it's,
well, I think
yeah.
Eating from the tree of life are the people that have found their purpose, walk in love, and aren't the ones sitting there judging and
right
using their knowledge.
Exactly. Able to just walk in love.
Yeah. Oh no.
Well, it's like I was talking about a month ago. Shutting off news sources of every kind, and a lot of social media and all this, and just concentrating on meditation and working on myself and seeing beautiful things being out in creation and just having that mindset of life
Yeah.
all the time without all the other bull.
Yeah.
It's like, it's so much nicer.
All that other bull. All right, now into the next segment of what happened to the stuff on my griddle.
Taken away.
This one's gonna get loud. Hash browns always get loud.
But it's nice and warm.
It's nice and warm. All right.
Recording again?
Yes, it is, buddy.
I like recording.
Okay, go inside until you're ready to do your eggs. Until we're ready for that, okay? This kid watches all these like YouTube tutorials,
Yeah.
and I think he's just got it in his heart. He just wants to be on camera. And I'm like, that's fine. You can
Yeah.
make your own stuff and
Heck yeah.
make your own recordings and well, that and he's 11, so
Yes. There's that.
there's that.
That's awesome. It's crazy. It's a different world than what we grew up in.
Oh, dude.
Of course, everybody can say that, but it's interesting having a worldwide audience.
Yeah.
Your market. Everyone has a 7 billion people in the world or whatever.
Yeah.
Which is pretty cool.
Just crazy to think the disciples had to walk everywhere. Jesus had to walk everywhere.
Yeah.
And we can sit here in my backyard while I'm cooking breakfast, do a little edit, post it on a website.
Yeah.
Anyone in the world who has a connection can hear our stupid opinions.
Yep. It's pretty cool. Little cigar ash in your hash browns.
Yeah. No, it's flavor, man.
Ash browns.
Yeah, no, that's good.
Yeah. Yeah, this is pretty cool. Pretty cool.
Yeah, and for anybody out there who's like, oh, look at this guy, he's got money. Nope, I just got good neighbors. My neighbors know I love to cook, and they bought a small one of these. And he's like, I can't cook anything. I'm an idiot, and I make good food on it. And I just push stuff around it. It turns out great.
Push stuff around, Ron.
Yeah.
Nice.
And he's just like, they told us, they're like, hey, can you come over? We have a Christmas present for you guys, but you got to pick it up. And we're like, oh, okay. Go over there, and this thing's in the box in their garage. And I'm like, get out. Are you serious? Because these are not cheap.
No.
Like, at all.
That's awesome.
But then I gave him a hard time. I'm like, you bought me something. Well, then I had to go and spend like another $200 on things I want for it. Like, I got to get all the utensils. I got to get this.
Yep.
I have a hood. I have to put that on later today. A whole hood that covers it and gives you a temp and everything.
Oh, heck yeah.
But, I got like a laser to tell me the temperature on it and all this. Just saved me money so I could spend it elsewhere.
Mm-hmm. Beautiful.
Oh, that's what I need to do. I need to put some salt and pepper on these bad boys. No, it'll be a minute.
Spicy.
Now, this was a Christmas present from my mother-in-law. And
oh, looky here.
these things are the most amazing things I've ever used. So you hit the button, it turns it on standby. Mm-hmm. And it turns itself on when you flip it.
Heck yeah.
And turns itself off. It also has an LED light, so if it's like a dining room, or if it's when I'm out
Yeah.
here in the dark,
Yeah.
the light turns on and you can see
see.
what you're actually putting down. Yeah, got these off Amazon. One, it has the huge well, which is hard to find,
Yeah.
and they're rechargeable. They don't take batteries. You just plug them in. And since Christmas,
That is awesome.
yeah, since Christmas, I have not charged these things.
Yeah.
So
And you've probably used them a couple times.
just a few. I've refilled the pepper once already.
Yeah.
But yeah, those are probably my favorite Christmas gift besides this Blackstone.
That is amazing. Okay. Talking me into it.
And you know what else? Veggies turn out really good on here too.
Yes.
For those
that's-
weird people out there that don't like, good stuff like meat.
That's right.
Yes, love.
I have a question.
Go ahead. What's up?
When we cook our eggs, are we going to use egg rings or no egg rings?
It's up to you. If you want to use egg rings, you can.
Yeah, it might be easier for them to cook them.
Okay.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
That's a pretty small flame.
Oh, and so what we do now is I'll do squash and zucchini and broccoli. So I'll throw the broccoli on,
Oh, nice.
and I'll have it on high. I have the broccoli on.
Yeah.
Let it get like a little bit of color to it, like it's charring. Squirt some water on there and throw a hood over it and steam the broccoli. It takes like literally less than a minute. Take the hood off, then I throw the squash and zucchini on, salt, pepper, and of course we use avocado oil. Do that, roll it around so it gets a little char on every side,
Yeah.
and pull it off. It takes 3 minutes tops to do everything.
Nice.
Oh, dude, it's crazy.
Heckin' good.
I got red and green.
Good job. Now, bring those out when I tell you when we're going to do the eggs, okay, bud?
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome, buddy.
Awesome.
But yeah, these things are... We did stir fry on here. It was like the second thing we did. So good.
Ooh, yeah.
Because it can get actually hot enough to cook off all the liquids. Don't
Very
touch
nice.
this. When it's
Heckin' good.
It's been awesome with the little one there. So he's listened. We've had, like, when they were babies, we'd put on Praise Baby, which is like Christian worship music. Babies, I guess. It's like lullaby-ish.
Yeah.
But one of them's called Born to Worship. And he just recently, in the last month, started... It's so funny, dude. So he's doing, like, they're playing Mario Kart, like, intense racing each other. And he's got Praise Baby on. It's like, I was born to worship, I was born to love. And it's like this lullaby-y woman singing this baby music. It's like, it's his zen. It's centering him for his racing. Every time he plays a racing game, he turns the iPad on with that music.
That's funny.
It's so funny.
Hey, takes you into a good spot.
Yeah. And what's great, too, now is, of course, I don't know if I've really talked about him and how he didn't talk for years and vaccine injury and blah, blah, blah. We can get into that someday.
Yeah.
But he sings that whole song like perfectly now.
No kidding.
And he'll just walk around the house singing it. And, and like Kim and I both have been like, I can listen to that all day.
Yeah.
That kid
Yeah.
just singing.
No kidding. That's awesome.
And for any parent out there who has a child with a speech delay or who's nonverbal, whenever you get a word out of them, it's just everything.
That's a precious word. Every word's a precious word.
And I saw a video the other day. It's a mom recording it. She has an autistic nonverbal child. She caught it on film the first time he said mama.
Oh, jeez.
And she's sitting there and she looks at her camera because she's like, can you say mama? And he goes, mama. And she just goes stoned and looks at the camera and she's like, can you say mama? And he says it again and again. And you just see her heart just leap.
Yeah.
And it's just
Heck yeah.
these little things that people just take for granted.
Yep.
Speech.
Yep.
I saw another video. Actually, I need to send you this page for any time you're having a bad day. It's called the Good News Dog, and all it is, it's an Instagram page with just good stuff on it.
Oh, heck yeah.
And it was a little blind boy who was probably like maybe 5, 6, seeing a firefighter for the first time.
Wow.
So he's in full gear, and this blind kid's just feeling him up, feeling his mask.
And
then
splinter in
he's
my
like, "What's this?" And he's like, "Oh, that's my mic." And and he's just feeling him up, walking around him, touching him everywhere, being able to see what a firefighter. He knows what they are. He knows what they do. Now gets to, if you will, see
it with his
hands for the first time. And I'm like, that's freaking cool.
Heck yeah.
You know, and that firefighter is so awesome because he sat there for probably 10 minutes. In the video, it's at least 2-3 minutes.
Yeah.
And they're cutting, through it. So he probably sat there for 10 minutes while this kid just explored him.
That's amazing.
But
wow.
Yeah, just again, these little things that you don't think about.
Yep. Yeah, no kidding.
And that's just like with anyone who's in a first world country, clean water, warm,
the little things.
Yeah, a warm bed, a roof.
Splinter.
I did not put a timer on.
Oh.
Did you get to record?
No, I'm recording. I just didn't turn the timer on, so I don't.
What does that mean?
It means that.
Yeah.
It means that I have to set another timer because it only records for so long before it cuts out. Because it can only, in 4K, it can only record, I think, 29.99 minutes.
What?
Or 29 minutes, 59 seconds. Doesn't quite do 30 minutes in 4K.
Silly.
Yeah, there's limitations. Anybody talking trash about the way I do hash browns, this is the way we like it.
Great.
We've done them in patties, and it just, you don't get the full crisp all the way through.
Right.
Really?
You either burn it, or, yeah, we have, buddy. Like when I used to do it in the frying
I get
pan.
you now. I get you. I know what you mean now.
It's still good, it's just not the same as when you roll them around and you just get that crisp all the way. And then I like to throw
piece.
I like to throw cheese on it and roll it in.
On my tongue. Is you're hissing.
Yep.
Uh-oh.
Sounds like a teapot or kettle, whatever.
Yep. All right, boys, go inside until we do the eggs, okay?
Look, we're recording the eggs, sir.
Oh, yes, we're recording, and you can come back out when Cass does his eggs. Come on, Rich, inside, buddy.
Sorry, everyone. That was my younger brother.
I don't even know how much they're going to pick up your guys' voices, bud. It's okay.
That's awesome. This is life.
Yep.
This is a good life, is what it is.
It's funny what we're going through with work and not wanting to. Well,
yeah.
wanting to, but working in our purpose instead of working a job.
A job, yeah. Totally.
I was talking. My brother called me the other day. We talk all the time via text, share memes constantly.
Sure.
But he called me, and I just happened to actually be in service and held service for the whole conversation, which is crazy because of where I was.
Yeah.
But dude, he's going through the same thing. He's just like, I'm making plenty of money, but I'm tired of working, 12, 14, 16-hour days.
Oh, yeah.
And
screw that.
He's like, he's got 4 kids. He's about, in his words, I'm going to lose one to teenage because she's about to be a teenager, so I barely got any time left with her before she starts her own life.
Right.
And then he's got one who's, I think, 8, his youngest. And he's like, I only got so many years left with him before he gets into living his own life. And he's just like, and I'm going to spend that whole time working.
Yeah.
He's like, I don't want to do that. And I'm just like, I just started laughing. I'm like, bro, you're you're right on pace with what we're going through, and I'm doing, what.
I think it's bigger.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I'm hearing it in random places in different ways. Just where industries are having a hard time finding people to work.
Yeah.
Because people aren't wanting to work anymore. And that's a good thing because they're wanting to do their own.
Yeah.
They're wanting to create. That's what we were made to do.
Yep.
Not work some job endlessly. If you have to for a little while, fine, but that's not what I don't think any of us were made to do.
Well,
we're made for a lot more than that.
If if we're really going to follow Jesus and do what Jesus did, all he did was live off the, not live off the land, but live off a blessing where he had everything he needed everywhere he went.
Yep.
And just spread what became the gospel. Mm-hmm. You know, it's.
I mean, how cool is that?
And
go around loving people all the time, and
and I think I love that part of
the job
of the Chosen. In the beginning, when he was still working, if you will, he was making things to sell.
Right. Yeah.
But once his ministry began, then he was just in it, doing his thing.
Yeah.
And it's like
very cool.
Something you never, I don't know if it's written anywhere, so you don't get to read it or think about it or see.
Yeah.
You know, obviously somebody did, because they created that in the story, in the TV show, but it's just getting to a place where, like we've talked about continually, where we're operating within our purpose, whatever that may be.
Exactly.
And sometimes the hardest part is finding that purpose. Because that's what, again, me and my brother, it's like, but I don't know what I want to do.
Yeah. We're so not... Well, turn this back on. We're so not used to thinking about what we want. It's all about, most of our lives have been what we have to do.
Yeah.
I got to work a job. I got to make this amount because I have to work I have to pay my mortgage and pay for my vehicles and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, and now in this day and age, there's so much more that's required just to do anything. You have to have a computer. You have to have a smartphone. Mm-hmm. You have to have a vehicle, unless you're in a big city. And even then, depending on the city, unless you're in like San Francisco or New York or LA, you don't have the...
Put this on the...
warm it up. We can get the deep fryer out and give you a deep fried Twix.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, heck yeah.
Bread it and deep fry it. But, unless you're in a certain demographic of a big city, but then, God, you got to make so much more money to even then live in the city.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's really, that's the goofiest thing in the world. If you could do anything in the world, what would you do? And 90% of the people are stumped.
Yeah.
I don't know. Well, for one, that's wrong.
Well, and that's also how we've been bred and programmed, because our entire life, you're placed in school. Mm-hmm. They teach you to stay in line.
You're industrialized.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I mean, I remember when I was a teenager, and my neighbor was so sweet, but she found out I dropped out of high school to get my GED, and she's just like, oh my God, no, your life's ruined. You're never going to find a job. You're never going to, and I just looked at her and I'm like, thank you. And it was all out of love. Mm-hmm. She's a very intelligent woman. I believe she had at least one PhD. Mm. Her husband was an Air Force pilot. He had degrees. Their kids were brilliant.
Yeah.
Rich, hey, buddy. Not right now. It's too loud. Go inside. Come on, bud. Richie. Look at me. Go inside, please. But all these. She was convinced I was going to fail in life just because I didn't have a diploma.
Yeah.
And I wasn't. She said, what about college? And I'm like, I ain't wasting my money, my parents' money, or the government's money on college. Mm-hmm. At least not at that time.
Yeah.
Later in life, I've found a passion for learning and different aspects of history and math and whatever.
Right.
But at that time, it would have been a straight waste of everyone who ever gave me money, or I earned it for college. It would have went straight into the trash. Mm-hmm. It just
right.
The hash browns.
You're almost ready for the end?
Almost, bud. It would have just been a waste of everyone's time and money, and
right.
And I probably would have learned something and whatnot. But if I would have had the actual fortitude to stick with whatever to get. I
Right.
couldn't even imagine at that time in my life what I would have been going to school for.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
and even that is a racket because it's like, oh, you don't know? Here, you're required to take all these classes that have nothing to do with anything while you figure out what you want to do. And
Here's
you can
high
pay us-
school all over again.
yeah, and you can pay us $20,000 while you
To
figure it
redo
out.
high school.
Yeah, to figure it out.
Yeah.
And it's like,
It's so goofy.
you are got to be kidding me.
Yeah, unless you're going for a specific credential,
Yeah.
skill,
For the egg whites.
Okay.
it's which many don't. They don't know what they're going for,
No, you spend at
why
least
they're even there.
a year or two figuring it out.
Yeah.
Really, now I'm going to really show people how rich, filthy rich we are.
Hey, Daddy.
Look at that. That's like $20,000 right now.
Yeah, yeah, right.
Hey, Daddy.
Yes, love.
Sorry, in case you haven't noticed, last night there were some leftover onions on the griddle.
Yeah, I told you did exactly what I told you to. Just push them to the back.
Sunshine.
I think that those spoons are my tongue.
Getting it done.
So, are you having 2 eggs, bud?
It is like that.
Okay. Well, then the egg rings are just for you,
Yes. Sure.
and then I'll do the other ones.
Can't forget to spray the egg rings.
All right, do your eggs, buddy.
Alrighty.
Like hers, kind of like his.
What, no yolk?
No running.
Come on, dude.
Whoa! What is that?
How many do you want? 2? What?
It's okay, Richie.
Oh, well, I didn't know that, so.
Oh, darn it. I cracked yours.
Doesn't matter, bud.
Sorry. I'm sorry.
Just put them back in the basket.
This one's mine.
Yeah, that's fine. I just took mine because that's where I got kept.
You can have my second one.
And you look like you've done that before.
I'm going to show you a trick that I learned on YouTube. I give credit to the person I learned it from, but I don't remember where. Because when we got this, I spent, I don't even know how many hours on YouTube learning how to season it
Right.
and do everything else. So,
Are they cute?
this one. So, you ready for this?
Whoa! What is that?
Oh, there you go.
The salt and pepper.
Dunskies.
You just drop it on the griddle.
I watched that, and he did it
Wow.
a little bit better to where he actually kind of kept them together.
Yeah.
And I was just like, what the hell?
That is awesome.
These are gonna be good.
Hey, we gotta put. Did you put salt on mommy's?
Yes, these ones.
You did? Okay.
Oh, whoopsies. Which one? One with holes or no holes? I need to split my yolks.
It doesn't matter.
Okay then.
Becoming grill masters.
Oh, there's also griddle guys.
Yeah, those guys are awesome. They're a
Yeah, I
YouTube
love
channel.
them. I
Oh,
love
yeah.
3 dudes that drink, smoke cigars, and cook. It's amazing.
Nice.
them. I love it.
Hey, go get a plate for the eggs, bud.
Can I flip mine?
Yeah, when you get back with the plate.
That's awesome. Too good.
Yes.
Whose is this?
I'm guessing that's mine.
Whose plate is this? Okay, his aren't
mine.
ready. I need one for you.
Suckers! Suckers!
You can build you some countertops.
Suckers!
Yeah.
Stop! And this one's suckers!
All right. Oh, no. Darn it. Oh, no.
Can I flip my eggs?
Yep, go for it. And we're going into another break. Let's see how much time we got left. All right, and get your flip.
Oh, nice.
There, and we'll go into the next break with his flip. All right, and we're back. Look at this boy's plate of food. Oh, you're gonna do two? Oh, fancy. Look at that. Look at this kid. There you go, buddy.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
All right, now I'll do mine and mom's.
This.
No, not the water, bud. Use the oil. Yeah, have you seen, I know you guys probably don't buy a lot of eggs, if any, but have you seen the prices?
No, I heard they were going up. I haven't.
Absolutely crazy town.
No kidding.
So for what we have, what our eggs are, which would be cage-free organic, I think she found, I forget where it was, like $11 for a dozen.
Wow. What the heck?
For cage-free organic eggs.
Wow.
A normal dozen is like, I think $7 right now.
Yeah.
Absolutely just pure insanity.
Yeah.
I just blowing my mind.
For what reason?
So get into the public reason that they say it
Yeah.
is because of bird flu. Bird flu has wiped out, like decimated
It's okay.
chicken farms. Which is probably true to an extent. But I watched this one video. This guy he's in the UK talking about it. And he lays out all the prices for their area. But essentially what it boiled down to is the cost of production has gone up for the producers. And so in his example, it went up 30 pence, 30p to produce eggs.
Hey.
Per egg. The stores they're making 80p per egg, but they're only giving the producers 10p more per egg. So they're losing 20p per egg while the stores are making 80.
Right.
So they're not giving them the money that they need just to produce it.
Greed strikes again.
Yep. And I'm like, well, that's easy. Go back to where you're just buying from a farm.
Exactly.
You know, like our friends and family members, or are mostly friends, who buy eggs from us. Like they're buying they're prepaying to guarantee egg spots.
Yeah. That's funny.
This is Grammy's. Man. Good, buddy. Oh, the plate, yeah. So it's like, and that's just in the UK, but I'm sure that's everywhere.
Yeah.
Because, like you just said, greed strikes again. It just.
Oil.
Yep. You want to put a little oil on there, buddy? Nice and gentle. Don't squeeze. Just right here. That's good. Good. Good job, bud. Yeah, just straight crazy town.
Yeah. Stuff that doesn't need to be happening.
No.
It is.
And I mean, in life, in the world, how much of what doesn't need to be happening always happens.
Yeah. Yeah. Very true.
Drives me crazy.
Yeah. No doubt.
But I mean, you know, we follow different like chicken pages and goat pages, and you know, there's the actually I think Babylon Bee did it. You know, it's like a dude who looks all super happy. It's like the amount of money, you know, the $5,000 he spent buying chickens and building a chicken coop and run, finally paying off. His first dozen, you know, first eggs get produced or whatever. And it's true. We spent way more money building what we have for our chickens than we'll ever make in selling eggs. But guess what I don't have to worry about?
Yeah.
Buying eggs.
Exactly.
You know, I'm not even fazed by whatever's going on in the egg market because I got plenty of chickens to make me plenty of eggs.
Yep.
You know, so it's like, how much is peace of mind worth to you?
Yeah. Yeah.
Breakfast.
Sure. Can I get a plate for these? Man, we've really been all over the map today.
Oh, that's funny. Well, like I said yesterday, there's hasn't been for me any huge revelations.
Yeah.
You know, and we have that. For a time, you get huge revelations, and I think it's processing.
Yeah.
And then it's processed for a couple months, and
It's cool.
Yeah. What? Oh, I don't care. Yeah.
Off, but it's
Yeah.
Luck. That's like,
Yeah. Like we've talked about, it's just,
yeah.
well, and how do you, if you don't have time to do anything or study anything because life's taking up all your time. It's like these guys that get all these great revelations and have all this time, that's all they do.
Yeah.
That's their life. Okay, thanks.
Yeah, like last 2 weeks, 150 hours in 2 weeks. Just over that.
Hey,
like,
buddy. Inside. Inside, crazy boy.
new steps are slipping.
And you're doing stuff like 70, 80 hours a week. It doesn't...
You do gaming for gaming.
yeah.
Okay, Squeaky. Get inside, please.
Oh!
Yeah, you don't have time for anything else.
Yeah. Well, I mean, 150 hours in how long? You said 2 weeks?
Yeah.
Yeah, when do you have time for anything?
Yeah, 78 hours
When did you
plus. And, yeah, exactly. I saved that for this week.
Oh, good. Is that why you needed to use the bathroom right when you got here?
Exactly. Yep. So working gets in the way.
Yeah. Can I get a plate for that, the meat? Just so I can take it off and clean the griddle.
You're cooking more bacon?
Nope. It's just crazy town.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. And you get ramped up. You know, it's like, I was telling my wife yesterday, it's like coming back from, especially first tour, 12 months of working 7 days a week, 13 hours a day, minimum.
Sabina?
Yeah.
And that takes a long time to ramp down from. And I remember as soon as I got back, standing in some line at Wendy's or something, and some guy stepped in front of me, and I like literally wanted to kill him. I'm like, this is ridiculous over a square burger. This is pretty sure this is not healthy.
And we've talked about that before. They don't teach you how to process anything.
No, just all right. Welcome back.
Hey, glad you're not dead. I guess if you gotta, congratulations, you made it.
Right. Thanks for making it. Now, formations at 6 a.m.
Oh God, I know.
It's like, holy hell.
They got a little better at least with our unit was a little better because we got back and we had a 4-day. Like turned everything in. Yeah. Made sure everybody was alive. 4-day weekend.
Yeah.
And then you do all your recovery as stuff starts to roll in.
Yeah.
After that, and
get
it's like
block leave.
Yeah, 2 weeks of shenanigans, and then you get 30 days off.
Yeah.
So I mean, it wasn't too bad. Mm-hmm. And of course, you know, I think I've mentioned it before. My deployment was as easy as anything you could have done. I mean, it was probably not as easy as an Air Force deployment. But it was pretty
6
easy.
months.
all you people out there in Uzbekistan with internet and bar and
Yeah.
Pizza Hut and
I had that second tour. I had Starbucks and everything up at Liberty, but there was also 15 months.
oh god, yeah.
It was absolutely ridiculous.
I knew one of
After
our
a
guys,
12-month one.
one of our guys was in one of the places, one of the units that was stationed in Alaska. They landed in the States, in Alaska. We're coming off the plane, and they said, "Nope, get back on. We got 3 more months."
Yeah.
I'm like, and then you wonder why people ate their guns.
Yeah.
Like,
Heck yeah.
you made it.
It's ridiculous.
I was sat down and be like, no,
Yeah.
Leavenworth, I'll take it.
Yeah. Yeah, and then you go back and eat an IED first week back.
Yeah, exactly.
That's jacked.
And then just think about the good commanders who had to tell their dudes to do that.
Yeah.
And then, like you said, they made it, and then now you, in that last 3 months, you lose dudes.
Yeah.
Or more dudes. Because
'Cause
you
it
probably already
happens.
lost dudes.
And those are the ones that suck the worst. The ones you lose right when you get in country, and the ones right before you leave.
Yeah.
It's like,
Well, that was like the unit that took over for us. They got just manhandled in the first couple of months.
yeah. It's the
They
most
were
dangerous
idiots.
time of deployment.
101st. At least the 101st that came in and replaced us. Wasn't no easy company, that's for sure.
Yeah, right. Heck.
All I know is we did pretty good. Our guys, I mean, I say we as in my unit. I didn't really do anything. But the guys that replaced us, man, they got jacked up. But that was also when, just after, because they got hammered, that's when our wonderful government decided to give Kandahar back to the Taliban or ISIS, or no, ISIS wasn't around yet. Whoever the hell it was,
Whoever,
that we were
whatever
supposed to be
flavor of
mad
the
at
month
and-
was.
Yeah, and fighting. They gave like literally pretty much what we did in Afghanistan when we pulled out. I use the word "we" loosely,
Yeah.
but there was videos on YouTube of them in our compounds that our guys built and just dicking around all the crap we left behind,
Yeah.
and that then they're now using. And I'm just like, I couldn't. I mean, it pissed me off, and I wasn't even the person.
Right.
I didn't lose anybody there.
Right.
You know, I think our guys, our infantry dudes, lost like 18 or 20 dudes in that deployment. Keeping that specific place just to have
Yeah.
it turned over after they get back. It's just like, I was pissed.
How do you process
I couldn't
that?
imagine those guys, you know.
Yep. That's hard to process.
They had every right to lose it.
Yep.
But
For sure. We're gonna have some editing on this one.
yeah,
Or not.
all I got to do is remember what segment it's in. Pork, chicken, and glory.
Glory.
I just want to know what person decided at what point in time, hey, we're going to take the intestines of an animal. The intestines, we're going to wash them thoroughly.
Sure. Yeah.
Then we're going to grind that poor animal up
Soap
and
and water.
stuff it back in its intestines so we can eat it.
Origin story. I need to hear that one.
That's like cheese. Who's the poor sap that was so hungry he was like, I don't care what's on it, I'm eating it. I'm going to call this one blue cheese.
Right.
Why are you going to call it that, Jim? Well, it's blue. Or just cheese in general.
At least they didn't call it fuzzy cheese.
I mean, just cheese in general.
Yeah. It's just mold.
Yeah. Dang it, Betsy, you left the milk out again. It turned into a block. Well, we ain't got nothing else to put on our bacon. Like, grate that up and Couldn't give it a taste.
Famous last words. Mm-hmm. Wonder what that tastes like. Wonder if that'll kill me.
There's probably two dudes, or like two brothers. Bet you won't eat it.
Bet you won't.
No, I'm serious. This isn't bad.
That's how bacon got started. It's like, oh my gosh, you are not going to believe this. Too fun. Well, any big plans this week?
A little bit of work. Finished some stuff up around the house. Might have an estate sale that I'm going to work next weekend, depending on how that turns out.
Nice. Very good.
Other than that, not really.
Yeah. Good. Good.
Just gotta figure the work thing out, because might have some opportunities to take a full-time job making really good money. And we're thinking one of us are going to do that for at least a year, maybe two. Mm-hmm. Get everything paid off, and then just go from there. Mm-hmm. And then, I mean, I still really probably want to do a food truck, food cart. Mm-hmm. So we'll see.
Yeah.
I have to start that other YouTube channel for cooking.
Mm-hmm.
Roll that in, get that going, and then roll that into a food cart.
Yeah.
Then we'll travel, do the podcast, sell food. Mm-hmm. We'll finance us traveling the U.S. with the families.
There we go.
Is it snowing right now?
I tell you, it was sunny a minute ago. Now it's all cloudy.
It dropped like 10 degrees out here.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was great. And then all of a sudden the wind stopped and now I'm colder, which is backwards.
Yeah.
It's supposed to snow Tuesday, maybe Wednesday.
Yeah.
All my chickens are running around. That's right, you money makers.
Yeah, it is snowing.
It is snowing.
Yeah.
What the heck?
I don't know. Mid-January and at 9,000 feet.
Well, that was like the last couple of days. It's been 50 degrees.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be in the negatives right now. Mm-hmm. Last year we were freezing.
Yeah.
Of course, we didn't have any snow last year. It was just freaking cold.
Yeah, it was awesome. We went out and played some disc golf yesterday. Heck of fun. Feeling good.
Not today.
No.
Well, that's a great shot of the black stone and Ken's butt.
Bam!
Well, this is, I wouldn't say a throwaway episode.
It may be. I don't know. You might be able to glean a few things from it.
At least go look up whatever we may have mentioned.
The 10, 15 minute full cut.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
it's more important to get out and do it. Mm-hmm. Get back in the rhythm. Figuring some stuff going out. Yeah.
Well, guys, gals, people listening, hope you enjoyed watching me cook breakfast for the family and my boy making his eggs, and our seemingly senseless rambling. And come back next time. Maybe we'll have something better.
Maybe so.